You're on Show Radio, and we have Sandy Sanderson from Elektra Magnesium with us in the studio today. Hi, Sandy.
Hello.
Can you tell us a bit about what you're doing here at the show?
Well, we have a stand in the Home and Lifestyle Pavilion which sells magnesium chloride body care products. So they're food-grade magnesium chloride which you can use in your filtered drinking water. You can soak your feet in it, and you can also rub it on as a magnesium cream, lotion, or magnesium oil for your skincare and muscle and joint care to relax everything.
So what are some of the major health benefits of using it?
Transdermally, well, we can get a lot more magnesium than you can get through the bowel wall. So the bowel wall can take what would be in mineral water or food, but as soon as you put a high concentration through, most of that ends up in the toilet.
Right.
And people will still have cramps, twitches and restless legs because they're not getting enough magnesium from the foods, which are now quite depleted in magnesium because our soils are depleted. And often we are under too much stress, which also is another way to lose too much magnesium.
So is that the same as when you take magnesium in a supplement form, that it passes straight through you?
Yes, a lot of supplements are very difficult to digest and absorb because, think about it, it goes through the digestive system. If you need to take it for constipation, that's a different reason.
Right.
So magnesium will draw water to itself to loosen and liquefy the stool. So if you needed to use it for that reason, that's okay. But if you're thinking that it's going to get through the bowel wall to the interior of the body, it's different. 99% of the magnesium in your body is actually in the muscle and bone, which means it needs to get across the bowel wall to get to the muscle and bone.
How does rubbing it into your skin assist with that then?
Well, the skin is ideally suited to excrete electrolytes, so you can taste it in your sweat when you perspire, and it can also absorb them back in. So you can soak your feet in and have a bath in them. So a lot of people use Epsom salts, which is magnesium sulfate, and that's another form of magnesium. But there's nearly double the amount of magnesium and magnesium chloride, and it's also much nicer for the skin. It's very skin softening, and it doesn't dry the skin out or make it feel itchy or anything.
So I know my nan uses it for her arthritis, which it helps a lot with. Are there any other main things that it helps with, like potentially dementia?
Absolutely. So arthritis and also cramps, twitches, restless legs, these are all electrical system disorders because when magnesium gets too low, the electrical system starts to falter and we get this this intermittent supply of electrical activity and magnesium comes out of the cells. Then calcium moves in and starts to tighten and contract everything. Everything gets squeezed and painful. In order to release the contraction, you need to put magnesium and water in. Magnesium helps water move back into the cells, hydrate and open everything up so it flows fluidly and smoothly again, and you get more stretchy and flexible with the magnesium and the water in you. Whereas too much calcium then dries us up and hardens us, and that's actually premature aging. When you get old and hard and crunchier faster. That's
interesting because I know my doctor told me that if I was going to take magnesium, I needed to take it with iron. Is that true?
Look, it may be the case with certain pharmaceutical magnesium tablets or powders, but elementally in the body, it's magnesium that charges up how the iron is used. In other words, you need a lot of magnesium in order to get the best benefit from the iron. If your magnesium is low and you're popping iron tablets, they may not do the job they're supposed to do without enough magnesium. So for instance, my own experience is I had anemia more than 10 years ago. This is before I discovered magnesium and my system was very depleted. I had symptoms of anemia, yet blood tests showed normal levels of iron. And so all I needed to do was raise my magnesium levels, and it made all the other nutrients work better. So I was already on a fresh, healthy food diet. I didn't smoke. I did lots of really good things, but stress is a big killer. Stress will deplete huge amounts of magnesium in the body and then cause those magnesium deficiency symptoms. If you're eating a fresh, healthy food diet and you're getting also plenty of magnesium transdermally, you may not actually need any extra tablets. It just depends on the individual. Certainly it's a minority that would need the iron supplements if all the other nutrients are being supplied, including ample magnesium.
You mentioned stress there. What are some tips that you have for people who are stressed out in their everyday lives?
The scientific studies have shown the lower the magnesium reserves get in the cells, the more prone we are to excessive stress responses. In other words, we become very sensitive and fragile and hypersensitive, and we get upset about the littlest things and we can't handle stress. And if you supply your body with lots of magnesium, it relaxes and calms the whole nervous system. We become more focused, energy becomes more stable, stuff happens around you and you can deal with it, you can handle the stress, you become more confident.
And you can't get that from diet? You can't get magnesium from just eating the right foods like nuts?
Well, if you ate a lot of fresh food, fresh healthy food diet, nuts, seeds, seaweed, and the foods that you ate were permaculture farmed, which has the most minerals in it, and you didn't have a lot of stress and you weren't exposed to a lot of chemicals in your environment, yes,
right,
that would be fine. But in our modern world today, we don't live in a world like that.
100%. Is this something that you see GPs recommending?
I would like them to recommend more. We do have a few doctors recommending our Elektra Magnesium cream for cramps, twitches and restless legs, because often if a person has to have certain combination of medications, they may rob magnesium from the body and cause these side effects. But using the extra magnesium transdermally helps them deal with the side effects much better. So doctors really like that, because then the patient is calmer and more relaxed and not distressed with the side effects. So what happens if we don't get enough magnesium and we don't get that electrical supply? The body's detox system doesn't work very well, and over time and over years we accumulate waste products and the tubes kind of get blocked, and you can get too much aluminium in the body that gets stored, and if that aluminium ends up in the brain, that's always associated with dementia. So what we need to do in life is to make sure we do our housekeeping, we clean the body, we eat fresh food, we help the body drink lots of really clean water with mineral electrolytes in it, so the body can rinse itself from the inside out.
It can be quite costly doing those things, shopping organically, and do you know what I mean? Like sometimes it ends up being quite expensive. Do you have any like top tips?
I think it's more expensive if you have a $50,000 heart operation.
Yes, that's right.
And a lifetime of chemicals and drugs, and you know, it's not necessary to walk down that path. There are many centenarians that are not on any medications. They're still out exercising and doing the gardening, and they've got all their faculties and they're thinking clearly, and they don't have diabetes or heart disease or immune system disorders or all the stress-related diseases we are plagued with today. All can be traced back to nutritional deficiencies and excessive stress. So if we clean up our environment, that's including our internal body environment, we put the good nutrients in, that's a recipe for good health for the rest of your life.
Which is the ultimate goal.
It is, and it makes life much more enjoyable, I find. You need a lot of energy to be happy. Your brain uses up a lot of energy to be happy. And that's actually one of the causes of depression, is when we lose energy in the body, the brain goes on safe mode, like on the computer. Things are still working, but you can't really rev up the energy to feel happiness, because there's a deficit. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, Sandy, thank you so much for coming in today, and we'll find you at the Home and Lifestyle Pavilion here at the Sydney Royal Easter Show.
Lovely to be here.